Over a year ago, when the coronavirus was exploding throughout the world, we met a patient from Southern California who is known as Patient Zero. Gregg Garfield was the first coronavirus patient admitted to his hospital. He was on a ventilator for 30 days. Doctors gave him a 1% chance to live. He was near death in the hospital for 64 days. He had some of his fingers and toes amputated, but Gregg is now on the mend. He's thriving. He's perhaps the most inspiring guest we've ever had on. Here is Gregg and his girlfriend at the time, AJ, on our show last year.
Just heartfelt thing I've ever experienced in my life.
It was incredible for being in the biggest nightmare and thinking that we were the unluckiest people in the world for about a month. And then in, a period of time to walk out feeling like the luckiest people in the world.
Let's welcome Gregg and his now fiancé, AJ Johnson, back to the show. Welcome.
Thanks.
Congratulations on the engagement. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
Literally a new lease on life and a new lease on life together. Gregg, let's start with the first obvious question. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm back in action. I mean, I don't have any effects from the virus at all, short of losing my fingers and a couple of my toes. I'm feeling 100%.
Did you have any long-haul neurological symptoms? Or you would have been hard to tell because you could have gotten some of that just from having been in the ICU for a month. But once you were up and walking out of the hospital, did a lot of this pass?
The only thing I was concerned about were my lungs. Just catching my breath at times. But as I started to progress, it just got better and better and better, and started working out and got back to skiing December 11th.
Yeah, got back to skiing. So you are joining us right now, AJ. Where are you joining us from?
We're in Mammoth right now, actually. We're going to have a huge day tomorrow with a bunch of our friends skiing the slopes with a bluebird day. We got about, how many inches? I don't even know.
Got about 16 inches.
Yeah, and we're ready to go back out there, but this is our love, and that's where we are right now.
And I'm not sure if people remember, but you were part of a group that were skiing in Italy and everybody got sick. Is that, I remember the story, and you came back and it was not clear what to do. We didn't know what to do with this illness at that point.
There were 13 of us that went to Val Gardena, Italy, February 20th, that all of us contracted the coronavirus.
Wild.
When we got back on March 1st and checked into the hospital, March 5th, which was a week ago today, actually was our 1-year anniversary.
And what was so scary, especially for people at that time, first off, we didn't know hardly anything about coronavirus. What also was so scary was that you all are such healthy guys that are physical.
Yeah.
There was some thinking originally that it was just, senior citizens in nursing homes, and this made us think differently about coronavirus. AJ, for you, as somebody who was in that hospital, he's given a 1% chance to live. To be able to contrast that and where you're at now, how do you even process that?
It almost feels like somebody else's story sometimes. We just stayed positive. We didn't know what we were getting into. We didn't know what this virus had to offer. We had the ugliest days. We had the worst news we could have gotten, and then 3 hours later we would get good news. So honestly, it was a roller coaster, and when you are faced with the most tragic moments in your life, you realize how strong you actually are, and you realize it's a space where you can grow in. And all we did was stay positive, and we wouldn't accept anything other than him getting better. And thank God, thank the universe, whatever it is, he came out of it, and we're on the other side.
And Gregg, as I recall talking to you last time, you don't really remember a lot of the ICU stay.
None at all. 31 days, I took a nap.
Yeah.
And just coming out of it, through the ICU psychosis and a lot of the other issues that transpired, collapsed lungs and what have you, I'm here today to just be thrilled with life.
Yeah, and of course, unfortunately, there's 500,000 families that aren't as lucky as you are. But your sort of biggest takeaway after this experience, or maybe the lesson you learned that you can share with people?
It's really mindset. Just focusing on, just being the happiest person that I can be. I'm happier today than I ever have been. And it's a result of AJ, my village, and they never gave me just the thought of failure. And it was just striving to get better every day. And I'm here to talk about it. And, you know, I've been through 9 surgeries so far. I have 3 more to go to fit prosthetics. And I've never been happier.
Wow.
And it's kind of crazy to say that.
Well,
He gets to be here.
We get to be here.
He gets to have these surgeries. We get to ski. We get to wake up every day, and it's a blessing.
wow. Well, you know, we had a lot of guests we could choose on Dr. Drew's final night, and we wanted to highlight you both because you have been so inspiring
Thank
to
you
us
so
over the
much.
course of the last
So
year.
glad.
Thank you so much, and so glad to see you both doing so well. And can't
you,
wait to
guys.
see those wedding pics. All right.
Maybe we get an invite, Alex. Maybe we get an
God.
invite. What do you
Yeah,
think?
we're going to be the wedding crashers. That's our next deal after this.